Bad little flex, she wanna know me. I stay low key, all gas, no brakes, baby, let them hoes sleep. Body on 10, make your man trippin'. It's this one thing that got me trippin'. You did this one thing, you saw baby feelin'. It's this one thing you did. It's this one thing that caught me slippin'. It's this one thing I want to admit. You did this one thing and I was so bad. It's this one thing you did. And maybe I just keep believing. It's this one thing you did.
Mute. What's up, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up, y'all? Listen, we are here to talk about you, because why Joe Goldberg deserves a conversation. Not only does he deserve a conversation, he deserves a lot of things, but I feel like this has been one of those TV shows that a lot of people look at, but I don't feel like we just have like random conversations about it. But I feel like people out there watching it for sure. But yeah, this was the end though. We are at the very end of you. There's no more Joe Goldberg. That's it. No more randomly thinking people falling in love with him. No more randomly, trying to be the white knight and save people and all that kind of stuff. This was it. So we're here to talk about it, and we want to know what you guys thought about the season as a whole. Were you satisfied with how it ended, or were you kind of underwhelmed with it? And also let us know what your favorite season was. For me, I know season 1 has always been my favorite season. After that, I don't know. I kind of try to put them in order sometimes, but I think I'll be going back and forth. What's your favorite season, Kay?
Of course, one of the best seasons because it introduced us to somebody that was just we couldn't even fathom how ridiculous this man was. And season 3 was a hilarious season for me. I don't know what I think it was the couple that that was in that season, but season 3 was hilarious to me. So that's up there too.
Yeah, I think season 3 was super funny. I like them. I ain't even gonna lie to you. When we get to Love and I see how crazy Love is as with her counterpart, and the fact that he thinks that she's the problem, that part is always interesting to me. But I loved kind of just, I don't know, I think I loved the that whole suburbia life that they had, and those couples were crazy. Like, I just thought that was a really funny season, so I was cracking up too. Hey, Candy Love. Hey, girl. What's up to everybody in the chat? Make sure y'all hit the like, share, subscribe, do all the things, because we appreciate you guys coming through. So anyway, let's get into it. We're talking about the whole season just as a whole, just having a conversation about some of the things that went down. Now, we always got to start kind of from the beginning, how it started. And we kind of, just talked about what we thought about, like our favorite seasons and stuff. But in season 1, we had Guinevere Beck, right? Then we fall into Love. And then Love story kind of goes over 2 seasons. And then we fall into Marianne. And then we get into Kate, right? That's kind of Joe's little love history that we have going on here. And I thought that it was really interesting how we came back full circle back to Guinevere. And I figured that's what they was going to do. Is that what you thought was going to happen?
With Joe, yes. With anytime you gotta kind of wrap it up, you gotta go back to the start of it. And we not too much on my birthday twin, Penn Badgley, okay? Because before y'all know he deserves a round of applause for playing the hell out of Joe Goldberg. And I'm like, the more I watch this, I'm like, Penn is really out there. He's really out there. And I'd be like, am I Joe? Because literally our birthdays are the same month, day, year. That is my birthday twin. And I'm like, dang, do I be taking up for him and his foolishness sometimes? Girl, I know I'd be having inner dialogue sometimes too.
I I do. I ain't even gonna lie.
Be like,
Sometimes
it
I
ain't me,
be
it's them.
feel like they didn't have to do it. I mean, like literally sometimes and I think it's probably a lot of people out there because when you think about it, you got the main character who is the diabolical character who's also the bad guy, but he's also your main guy, right? I'm pretty sure there are plenty of people out there that was like, well, she didn't have to do that to Joe. I know there
But
are
he
moments.
did take off a few bad people though. Like, I mean, it wasn't all self. Some of them people deserve to go.
Yeah,
Mm.
some of them could go. Some of them could go. I did like how we had, gosh, I can't think of his name right now. The guy that I think it was it season two, I believe, because I don't think they were in Suburbia yet. I think it was season two. The guy that he had locked up, the one who had took somebody else's identity, and now
That was season two.
him out here helping him. I said, "Come on now, Joe. Come on." He's out here helping him in the end. So I did like some of those things about it. But I think the bigger question, girl, is did it end the way that you wanted it to end? Because some people wasn't feeling it.
Yes, he definitely needed to go to jail. We didn't need him to be, off because he needs to sit and take a time out and be separated from the outside world. He needed a time out. And the thing is, because he never thought that he could be caught.
Mm-hmm.
Death would have been the easiest way. Like,
Yeah.
no, you need to be in a cell. You need to be by yourself. You don't need to live this because he's been afforded a life of luxury. Love came from a good wealthy family. Kate came
Yep.
from a good wealthy family. Take that all away from him.
Exactly.
Take it away. Take it all away, and he needs to be able to know that his son is growing up, and he can't do anything to interfere. He can't do anything to be a part of it. He needs to sit back and watch that happen.
That's true. That is true. And I agree too. I wasn't upset about it. I was like, okay, this is what Joe actually deserved. Because if we had to just got rid of him like that, like that would have been too easy. And I low key, I feel like that's what Joe wanted in the end. He just wanted them to go ahead and wanted her to go ahead and get rid of it. Because at this point, I know I'm caught. Just go ahead and end it. And that's why he charges at her and you know, but she didn't want that. She wanted him to have to face it. So I was like, okay, low key, yeah, this is worse. But I mean, we had a ride to get here. In episode 1, it was entitled "The Luckiest Guy in New York," and it picks up 3 years later. This is after the events of season 4. So in season 4, we all know what went down with that, with the whole the Eat Rich killer. That was such an ugly name. I'm sorry, that was just a horrible name. But in the end, he ended up framing Nadia for that young man's death. I think his name was Edward, if I'm not mistaken, but that don't matter. He framed her for the death because she had figured everything out. So that's kind of where we end. And now Kate has cleaned up everything, and now he's able to come back, and now everybody loves Joe. You know, Joe is the man. Joe, they're the it couple. So I mean, and now he's lived his life and he's been good. He ain't been out here stalking nobody. He ain't been out here falling in love with nobody. He's been doing the right thing. But Uncle Bill tries to take old Kate down, and Joe has to come to the rescue. But the cute part about all of this, and I say cute because Kate was doing too much, she gave him his blessing. Girl, what are your thoughts just about being reintroduced to Joe, him being able to come back to New York, him being good for 3 years, him getting his son back? Like, how did you feel about this first episode?
When I found out they got his son back, I said this is going nowhere fast. He left his child with some good people. And I said, who did Kate have to pay off to get that baby back from the house that he was in? Joe left him there because you was an unfit parent. And those people really wanted a child. And if we go back to season 3, those men were really fighting to have a child. And Joe, you gave them one. Now, how would that? I wish that we would have gotten to see them and the exchange of them paying the men off to come in and take that child back. Actually, shout out to Henry because that looked like that's his son for real. That
You
little
really
boy got to
do.
be related to him some kind of way. Henry is his kinfolk. Um, So I'm like, who do we have to pay off? Kate out here throwing her money around, and that is a phrase of people of like lower class when they are sick of these high class, um, opulent, extravagant people living this lavish life. They feel like they have to do something to interfere with it. They feel like they got to take on the role of, I got to take them down. They're taking too much, the whole Robin Hood effect. They taking too much from the little guy, so I need to rob the rich to give unto the poor. But Joe Goldberg, you didn't come from money though. So you just letting Kate toss her coins around for your own benefit. And see, she know the person that she married. And that's why she started in the end to see that some of this was on her. That's why she stepped down from that company. Because you knew the type of person Joe was when he was over there in Europe with you. She knew. You went back home with him knowing everything that he did, everything he was capable of, and you thought you was going to use it for your benefit until you realize he can't turn it on and off. Mm-hmm. Like he just pretend to live this high class fancy life because of you. He liked this life of luxury because he ain't never had this lifestyle. But don't ever forget, this is Michael Myers that you living with. Okay, all you gotta do is give him the word, and he's slashing and dashing.
Okay, that part. Exactly. That part.
And enjoying it.
Okay. Hey Daria. Listen, happy early birthday to you. She said her birthday is next week on Wednesday. So happy early birthday to you, boo. That is what's up. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Kate always knew. Kate, just like you said, she thought that she could contain it. She thought it was something that she could turn off and on. She thought that this was something that she was going to be able to use for her benefit. And whenever she needed it, okay, we do it. But then we gonna go back to this, this picture perfect life. She didn't realize that he was real deal certified with this thing. Okay. She didn't know what it really was. She just thought she knew. And when I got to the end, I was like, there's just no way that Kate wasn't aware that some of this that some of the things that she swears she didn't know, like the eat rich killer. And I just don't believe that for nothing in the world. I believe that Kate always knew those things. And she just was like, I can benefit from this. And plus, she had her own little thing to hide, right? She had to make sure, like, he helped her, you help me, I'm gonna help you. It was mutually beneficial. And I think Kate was more like her dad than she ever wants to admit to, by the way. I really, really do. Really, really do. But anyway, y'all, Uncle Bill said, look, I'm about to put all this. He don't like the way that Kate is running the business. So he want to put all the stuff out there. And he's like, look, he done went to a reporter and everything. However, they find out about it. Teddy, which I don't know if I put his slide in here. But anyway, Teddy finds out about it. And Teddy, of course, is the brother, which is so crazy to me. The brother who was born, who has a different mom from. As a matter of fact, don't all of them got different moms? They all just have the same dad, right? Because yes. Grayson and Maddie have different. Mm-hmm. I couldn't understand why they were so upset. I was just like, I think all y'all got different moms. Okay, that is a lot about out here. Stop playing.
But he was a Rolling Stone.
Okay, for real. He wants to go ahead and get Kate up out of here in the worst way. So he's going to expose the secret, which we found out in season 4 was about how all those kids got killed or unalive, how all those kids were unalive, and how Kate was the one who had to basically, I'll say, pull the trigger on it. She was the one who Daddy trusted. She was the one who had to hide all the things. And that's why she left and went to London in the beginning, because and we thought it was the daddy. That whole season 4, they made it seem like it was the daddy who did all these, did this terrible thing. It turns out it was Kate. So there's that. But so he wants to expose that. And then Joe have to do what he have to do. And Kate say, go ahead. Then when he tell her he like it, now she want to be mad. Why she mad, Kate? Why she mad about him liking it? Because why? This what he do. Don't be mad now.
Denial is a river. That's why. Denial, denial, denial.
Girl.
Joe had a whole second personality over there in Europe. He had a whole other person. He was a whole other person and didn't even realize it. And you brought him back. No, you came back with him. You came back with him and set up his life.
Girl. And gave him a good life. Welcome to the good life, Joe. Got a bank account, got everything, girl. Why Joe thought he was about to use that bank account to buy that castle? I fell out. I said, "Now, Joe, you doing too much now."
Joe was on the red carpet. He was on magazine covers and everything. He thought he was just boy. He was living that luxurious life. Oh, you on mute?
I'm just really talking. I said Joe was over there living that good life. Joe said, "Listen, you can't tell me nothing." Episode 2 was another episode that we so in the end, go back. In the end, Joe gets rid of him and he's done for. But we got to talk about Reagan and Maddie because Reagan and Maddie were interesting. And actually, I think both of these are Reagan. But anyway, but or was that one? I don't know. She did a really good job when they started switching up places. But we got to talk about Reagan and Maddie because Reagan and Maddie, of course, are the twin sisters. They're Kate's sisters. They're her half sisters or whatever. But Reagan is the one who really, really wants this business. Like she's the cutthroat when she can't stand Kate, and she was a little upset about the whole situation about a little man going in on her daughter. I mean, he threw hands and it was what it was. We learned later that it was because her daughter was a little menace like her. And that's why he did it, not to excuse him, but I mean, he said he had a reason. And she wants to get rid of him from the school. She wants to come after Kate and everything. And she also is starting to think that Kate is the one who got rid of old Uncle. So she's like, she's ready. She's like, I'm coming after everything. So of course this gets Joe in a tizzy, and Joe decides, hey, now we gotta get rid of Reagan. He just want to get rid of everybody. And now Kate is like, we just can't get rid of everybody. I'm like, why not? We did it. We already done it. Now we can't get rid of Reagan. She a menace. Let's get rid of her. I don't understand, Kate. Why we can't get rid of her?
She set him on this path and told him it was okay. She told him it was okay to kill off her family members, and he was like, "Cool, you let me do it, a couple times." Because remember, it started with her dad, then the uncle. He's just like, "Well, you obviously you don't have a problem when your family is in the way, and you sending me to go be your henchman, but now you got a problem when it's the twins like that." Reagan was evil. She was a witch to everybody. Her own twin, daughter, husband, siblings,
everybody.
Now him throwing her in that, but he wanted off her. Basically, she was getting on his last nerves. Like her in that mouth was just being too much. I don't really think he wanted to kill her at first. He just wanted her to shut the hell up and let them live their life and have their way, but she just would not. So he eventually, she wasn't gonna make it eventually. And of course, why not bring in the weaker twin to do that? But shouts out to this actress for being able to handle that, to playing a mean girl on one hand and then playing like Miss Blonde, naive, gullible twin on the other hand. If she wasn't so gullible, the plans might have actually worked in Joe's favor. But when you have an idiot and you give them an assignment and you know that they are not strong enough to carry out the plan with you, that was his own downfall. Trusting Madison to do what he needed her to do.
Exactly. And then in return, she thought she could trust him when the stuff hit the fan. Come on now. Come on, Maddie.
And called the police on them.
Girl, I said, come on. Yeah, she did her thing. She did her big one on this one. Cause I was like, girl, you was doing good playing both of these characters. Cause why? I'm like, okay, I'm not even mad at it. But the gag is that Joe thought he was kidnapping Reagan when he really ends up kidnapping Maddie. And turns out Maddie has been sleeping with Reagan's husband, who really was her boo thing first, and she was the one who was interested in him and actually really loves him and cares about him. And then the even bigger gag is that we learned that their child is actually, she actually carried the child for them. I said, now that's diabolical. That's why you know Maddie is a horrible person. You set all of this up for your sister to do all. You like, I ain't finna have this baby, but I'm gonna talk my sister, guilt her into doing it. Know this her man, and then I'm gonna make her have a baby by the man that she love. That's crazy.
Moral of the story: don't do love triangles.
Mm-mm.
They don't ever go well. Name a point in history where it actually worked out.
Yep. Nope. Nope.
They never turn out well. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Do it. Just don't do it. So Kate is gonna realize at some point in this episode, I believe it's like towards the end, somewhere in here, she realizes that Joe just really do love this. Like he just really in this, in it. And once again, I still believe that she knew this all along. I don't believe Kate's epiphanies. I'm sorry. I wasn't buying any of that crap. I'm like, girl, you knew this. You knew this a long time ago. Camera shaking. You knew this a long time ago, but it is what it is. So now we got Maddie locked up, and now what are we gonna do? She diabetic. We learned that from when we was at the dinner that she was diabetic, and I was like, Joe slipping. Is it okay? Seriously, is it me, or did you ever think that I always thought that Joe just wasn't gonna mess up? Somehow I just always figured Joe would get himself out of these things, and I was just like, Joe will be okay. He'll figure out a way to get out of this. Let's see how he gonna get out of this one. But the stuff that he started to do this season, I just was like, how? There's no way he can get away with this. No way.
Because he kept going down a spiral in a rabbit hole, and there was it was too many people involved because it was his wife's family. It's her family. So it's not like these were like complete strangers. You are dealing with her family, and her family is tied to her business. Her business is tied to y'all's money and her position. So it's not like, he could just off somebody and walk completely away. Like you have to go home and answer to somebody and explain what's going on. And you still have to deal with these people in this situation. You can't just hide somebody, lock them away, bury the body, and then move along on your merry way. All of these people are around your inner circle. And that's what kind of messed him up this go around. And the fact that he couldn't hide who he was from Kate anymore. So she already know something goes sideways. You did it.
That's why when old girl was missing, I said, girl, come on now. Put two and two together. Come on. Like, think about it for a little while. You know better. But I think she just didn't want to see these things, to be honest. I think she really just wanted to be blind to a lot of this. At some point, we see that Reagan is going to end up trying to blackmail Maddie and Joe, because there's a point when we finally realize that, boom, I kidnapped the wrong sister and Reagan is out and then Reagan even has the nerve to pretend like she's Maddie so that she can actually take her shares, or basically take her vote, rather, not really her shares, but her vote, which is just as important for this new board position that they were trying to fill. It just got crazy real fast and real quick. Joe ends up trying to get Maddie to take Reagan's place, and Maddie is having a hard time trying to take Reagan's place, and then he ends up kidnapping Reagan, and then Maddie does take Reagan's place, and Kate is going to find out about all Joe's stuff, and Teddy at some point is just like, I'm done with Ollie. Like, I can't do this. Like, it was just like a roller coaster of things, like boom, 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 boom. I was just like, and out of all of this, we also enter Bronte. When you met Bronte, did you think set up from the jump, like something ain't right from the jump?
Absolutely. First of all, it's always, I feel like, a setup when uh he's interested in somebody, when he get around, when he feel like he got a little money, like when he was with Love and he had a little money in his pocket, and then he tried to pursue Marianne. Why are you messing with people who are struggling financially, it's not going to work out in your favor. So I'm just Bronte was like a little mix of like Marianne and Love, because she was a little cray cray too. And I'm
Mhm.
like, no, Joe, you done been around. You done been around the block. You done been in these magazines. She knows who you talk. So it ain't like his name it isn't out there like before. Like people know you. They could look up your financial status and stuff now. So
Mhm.
she knows too much about you for it to be a coincidence.
Absolutely. I messed up some of my slides, but that's all right. So I thought the same thing, seriously. When I first saw her, I was like, something is not right with her. And because we were looking at the Handmaid's Tale, I was kind of low key blinded by the whole idea of Janine, right? So I was like, oh, there's Janine. But I was like, oh, yeah, something ain't right with this. I just couldn't quite put my hand on what it was exactly. And I honestly didn't think that it was what it was. Like, I didn't think, I was like, that's what it is. Like, I was like, I really didn't go that far, but I just knew it was gonna be something. But as usual, Joe gone Joe. And Kate is starting to really, really pay attention to a lot of things. Like Kate is in, I call it stalking. I said Kate stalking him now. Like, what are we doing here? She gets suspicious. He brought her some doggone tea. She said nope. When it pulled that tea out in the sink, now I'm like, now that's smart because I
Mm-hmm.
ain't drinking nothing that he give me
Mm-hmm.
at all. And in the midst of all this, we see Henry who's thriving and he's older. He loves Kate. She's bonded with him really, really well. And, you see these moments where you're like, okay, can Joe just stop for a second? And you would think that his son would be a reason for him to finally hone in and realize what he's doing. But at the end of the day, Joe don't think he did anything wrong. And I think that's what we had to realize. That's what I had to realize is that that's the reason why he couldn't choose his son. Because I'm like, why he can't choose his kid? But he couldn't because he thought he was protecting him. He thought he was protecting his family, per se. Kate had a whole knife under the pillow. It got real.
Um, I mean, now I don't know how you thought you was gonna sleep peacefully with the butcher knife under the pillow, but I'm not mad at her for keeping it close. Like maybe she should have put it like behind the headboard or under the mattress. You know, be smart about it, Kate, because I need, how you gonna go to sleep? Uh, Teddy is like, you know what? Black people get arrested and blamed for stuff like this. I don't want no parts of it. I got to get up out of here.
Okay, tell me
And
about
y'all
it.
not, cause see, when the police get called, they're gonna look at me first. And if this is the type of person you say it is, the black guy dies first. I'm about to go.
Okay, that's what I liked about Teddy. Teddy said, "Listen, I understand. I understand. Let me
I
go."
can
'Cause,
read the room. I'm reading the room here. This ain't y'all find y'all something safe to do because this ain't it. And went on about his merry way. But Kate was just like convinced, like I can handle this. I'm gonna fling my money around. I got this. I got me. I got Henry. Henry ain't even her child for real, but she got herself and she got Henry.
okay. She was like, look, I said, okay, here we go. So this was my biggest question. Did Joe really have a point did he have a point when he said Kate is not a victim? He says that she overlooked stuff. Like this was Joe who he was like, you're not the victim. Did he have a point? Was Kate not a victim? Now I've been saying she ain't a victim, but in reality, like if we really just break it down a little bit, was Kate a victim or not?
No, hell no, hell no. Not with all that money, power, and influence that she has. She knew when she came to America what this man was. This man was offing people left and right with his split personality and blaming it on the alternate version of himself.
Okay.
And you was still cool with it. You was just like, tell me everything. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be cool with it. You didn't have to say, okay, now I know the truth about you. We gonna be good. At that point, she should have said, you know what? You go, you know what? You know what? I maybe this is a little bit much for me.
Okay.
I,
Listen, maybe we need to
yeah,
maybe we need to go ahead and end this.
yes.
But when she found that book that he was writing, because you remember he tried to output all his energy into this, whatever the hell he was writing. What the hell was that? Whenever whatever he was writing, his Twilight fantasy.
Dark fantasy, noir, erotica,
Okay,
50 Shades of Gray beats the underworld.
girl, because I'm like, we got vampires and love and but they super dark. I said, wait a minute, Joe, wait a minute. But when she finds all of this, Joe, it's so crazy to me because every time Joe gets this fixation and for a minute, I think that he really thought that Kate was gonna be on board. Like I really think he thought that for real. And then we're introduced to Bronte, and Bronte is saying all the right things, which should have been our first red flag that she was just doing this way too well and just was way too open with some of the weirdness that was happening. You found this, you go downstairs first of all, as if you're just precocious, which that should have been some of our first things like, oh yeah, something is definitely going on with her. But when she finds his readings, she's like, she has no problem with them. The way that I would have been running, like, oh hell no, I don't need this job. I'm about to go be homeless again. Goodbye. That's why I was like, yeah, something ain't right with her, because you cannot find that and be good with it, and then move on to start this whole full blown affair with him, knowing that he's married to one of the most powerful women and families. You can't fight against this. Why would you even do that? So I look back at it now and I'm like, how did I not see this? Because all of this was stupid. But we lead up to this point where in the story per se, we've met Clay. We know the audience. We've all found out. I think we find out in episode 6, I believe, like the full backstory. I think we get her full backstory, and this is right. And I want to say episode 5 might have been when he got arrested at the end of that, and then they go into the backstory of
Mhm.
her. So Joe gets arrested for murder out of all the things, right? He gets arrested because Clay was coming after old girl, and then they got it on live, and it was just the whole big thing. And Kate has to come get him out of this. That's privilege. If I ain't seen no privilege, that is super privilege. Because how? But we get into the backstory. What are your thoughts about this backstory, and kind of talk about it a little bit, like just the parts that stand out to you, and how she kind of came about, this whole thing.
Um, I like that we saw that this plan was in the works for a while. That she was somebody who was friends with Beck, and they found an online community. And it reminds me of like conspiracy theories of like when things happen and people start like doing their own investigations and like
Mm-hmm.
putting two and two together. It's just like something don't sound right. Like something don't fit right. I know somebody else that knows something about this case, or I know somebody, like we need to get together and talk about it.
Yeah.
And usually things like that might stay in an online forum, but for the simple fact that they're like, we actually can do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing is, along their plan of doing something about it, the dude was getting a little ahead of himself and messing up the plan because he kept saying, "No, we gotta be no, we gotta do no, we gotta do." Slow your roll.
Okay.
Let the plan unwind like it's supposed to. And then Bronte messed up the plan because here you go, falling for Joe and his foolishness. Here you go. How charming is he really?
Girl.
Because he really don't even be talking about nothing.
That part.
He don't even be talking about nothing.
At all. Talking about Ish. I'm like, I can't believe y'all out here falling for this mess.
Don't be saying worth of nothing. It ain't even proved or showed worth of nothing. What you falling for him for? What is he doing exactly?
Okay, because girl, even when he be trying to get down. I'm like, what is Joe do? I don't see it. I keep trying to see it and I can't see it. I'm just like, y'all just falling all over him. Like, why? And all of them did it. Every last single one of them did it. I was like, okay.
Be like, you really see me, and no one else has really seen me before. I think we should be together.
Okay, that part.
No
Yeah.
one will ever understand me like you do. I
Yeah.
can help take care of you with Kate's money, with
Okay.
Love's money.
Okay. Exactly. I got an account. That part will forever be funny to me. I said,
I can I can protect you. And that's probably about the only thing that he would actually be right about though.
I was gonna say he probably could do that one.
He do that part.
He probably pull that off, but the rest of that, bro, you can't use somebody else's money to do something. Was there ever a time where How did Joe actually make a living? Is what I really want to know. Because I don't feel
And
like
that
there was ever really a time, except for when he was in London, when he had a real job. But I'm just
that
like,
what he wasn't even using his real name. Get that.
that's true. That's true.
And then he lied because he ain't even have all of them credentials and stuff. Joe's the only real job he had was really working in that damn bookstore.
Okay, in that part. Let me go ahead and bring up our girl. She is here. We got to see what she thought about where we are at thus far. Hey, boo, how are
Hey,
you?
girl.
Hey y'all, I'm so sorry, child. I was trying to get here. I was listening to y'all while I was riding home. I owe a buck today, but I was trying my best, okay? Like Joe with his foolishness to make it through.
Somebody said he owned a bookstore. All I'm saying is that he didn't make enough money in that bookstore, is what I'm
Hell
getting
no.
at.
Right.
To
He was
really,
supposed
really
to
be out
be.
here trying to say that he gonna take care of folks. That's the problem.
He was
With his
be
wives'
selling
money.
it, but then all of a sudden he wanted to reopen it again.
Mm.
The amount of times I was like, Joe, 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 Joe. Like, I was so freaking sick of damn Joe, I didn't know what the hell to do. And I don't know if he ever irritated me this much in the past seasons. I definitely agree. I was listening to what y'all was saying. I feel like it ended the way it was supposed to. We was not supposed to just see Joe walk away, even though I always was rooting for him. I feel like the past seasons I rooted for him more. I've always said how I root for him, and I used to root for Dagon Dexter. And I know I'm not supposed to root for neither one of them, but I did. But in this season, I was like, no, Joe, you go ahead and go over to the jail and just tell them, open up, let me in, because it ain't no way. Like, I felt like he was smarter in the past seasons. Maybe it was just because I was just all like, oh, Joe, I don't know. But in this season, I was like, yo, you are dumb as hell. I was just laughing at a lot more stuff and also irritated. And it was funny because me and my son was watching some of the episodes together. And you know how you said you was fast forwarding some of the power episodes last night? He was fast forwarding through some of it. I was like, would you stop? I'm trying to see what the hell gonna happen. He was getting so irritated.
Listen, sometimes that's how I do, like it just irritate you. So I asked Kate earlier, like, do you think that Kate was a victim? Because Joe actually says that she's not a victim. Do you think that Kate really knew all the things all along, even though she says that she didn't, and that she was really just thinking that she could control it?
No, Kate was not no damn victim. Kate was the Lulu. The same way we talk about everybody that's delusional on Handmaid's Tale. She was definitely, when it was convenient for her, when it was going to help her, when it was going to get her along, we was all fine and dandy with every damn thing that Joe was doing. And the minute that, now all of a sudden we woke up and no, this is too far and we can't do this. Then all of a sudden we want to turn on him and take his son and put him away and get him out the way. I was like, girl, bye. I wanted her ass to, child, listen. I was sick of Kate and I was sick of Miss B sneaking all around the damn bookstore and playing in our damn face. I was like, Joe, how do you not see this? From the minute she showed up, even though that's my girl, I love her. I was like, you don't see this? I was giving her the side eye the whole damn time. Like, I just I couldn't.
Listen, He said he was so much smarter. They made him look stupid in this
I
season.
feel like he was, but
Me
maybe
too.
he wasn't. I don't
I
know.
feel like because of he you think about sometimes when people don't have privilege, they got to fight a little bit harder. You got to fight a
Mhm.
little bit harder when you don't have.
Mhm.
And see, when he started feeling like he was untouchable because he had a little money in his
Yes,
pocket then,
Mm.
that's
and
true.
that made him a bit weaker because see, he was able to hide behind Kate's money, Kate's power, her
Mhm.
influence, her resources, to where he felt like if I get sloppy, if I make a mistake, well, she can fix it and clean it up. We can fix it because that's what the
Right.
rich do is they throw the money at their
Exactly.
problems. So definitely, I feel like he was at a disadvantage, but by his own hand. Because see, now you're not struggling like you feel like at the bottom trying to make it. You feel like I can do whatever I want to because my money will be tossed at the
Mhm.
problem, and that'll fix it. I don't have to be 100% on it like I have been. Because what happened when he got arrested? Who came and got him?
Yep.
And him not even paying attention to the paperwork, just oh yeah, I'm good. Signing your life away. Like,
Hmm.
Believe in Kate. Believe. I'm like, you should see by now that she don't even like you no more, bruh. I'm not signing nothing that you bring to me. Let me read all of this. But once again, kind of like he was saying, call you MK. He's saying like he was just I'm gonna say dumb. He was dumb this episode because he was just blindly just doing whatever. And I think that Kay has a great point that before he had to rely on himself. He had to
Hmm.
make sure that he wasn't going to get caught. He had to make sure that he wasn't going to be in those situations. And now, oh, if something happened, somebody she can get me out of it. If something happened, so he's it's like he's just doing things. Like he just
Hmm.
did so many things to me that were so much more sloppy. But yeah, we got to talk about
because
the
even
biggest.
when he I'm sorry.
No, no,
I
go
was
ahead.
just gonna say, even when he took the what was her name? What was the names? Maddie and when he confused the twin.
Yeah,
And
Maddie
it was
Lee.
like she told him not to do that, and he pretty much was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do it, and she gonna thank me later." Like, what the hell? And then you don't even get the right damn one.
That was crazy that he didn't get the right one. I was like, come on, bruh. Come on. But I mean, who would have known that Maddie was out here sleeping with
Right. That
Harrison?
was hilarious too.
It really
Mhm.
was. Now, Joe got catfished like none other. And I'm like, for all the stalking that you do, for all of the he's very perceptive. That's what I'm going to say. For all, and I don't even know if this is a word, for all of your perceptiveness, if it's not, I just made it one. How in the world did you not see this? Like, why was this so simple and easy to do? Like, why was this such a, I just don't understand why he thought that this was just, oh, like this particular person just fell into your lap all of a sudden.
Cause
Like,
he big money now. He learned how to live the lavish, rich life when he took his behind over there to Europe. He learned that those rich people hide behind their money. Remember, he learned he started hanging out with the wealthy people. Like Kate, no, one of the other girls, Kate's friends, like kept inviting him to things. So he started to learn the ways of the rich people. He learned that they were untouchable as long as they could hide behind their money. Joe wasn't acting like that in America.
mm-mm,
He went over there and learned the ways of the wealthy people and saw the more money they have, the more power and influence they had. And he took that same attitude with him over to America to feel like, you know what, I'm too powerful and wealthy now, and I'm well known, and my wife is well known. Nobody's going to do this to me. Okay, Joe, you
and
slipped,
got
started
caught up,
slipping.
and got caught up. Hello, hello, hello. Of course, I have.
Hmm.
Thank you for asking. But yes, I have. But yeah, he got catfish hard, y'all, like super hard. And when we go back in episode 6 and they break down this whole story of how they did it, I said, man, these some patient people because I don't have time to do all of what they was doing. This is too much. This is like the biggest catfish ever. Like they went in, and then we have one person in this little group that happens to be, what was his name? Was it Professor Nick? The professor, that one that Joe actually set up, not the professor, the therapist that he actually set up to take the fall for Guinevere's murder. So his son is in the mix of all of this, which makes him far more emotional and has so much more attachment to it, more attachment than
Mm-hmm.
Bronte has. He has more attachment because this is his father. So you know he gonna do something stupid
And that's what made him reckless. That's what made him reckless. He kept jumping the gun with the plan.
every single time. Joe should have done his research instead he spent his time and did. Boy, when they started playing them scenes, I said, dang, here go traditional Joe again. Dang it, Joe. You know a Joe scene when somebody just entered the scene all of a sudden and you just like, oh Joe, here you go.
Joe fall in love every damn 5 minutes. Every 5 minutes. And then it'd be the love of his life. Every love that he find be the love of his entire life. Like he ain't never
Okay.
met nobody before. And he ain't never been married before. As soon as a new person come in, he is in love all over again.
She just captivated me. Are you the one?
she only sees me. Nobody knows me like you.
Nobody knows me like you.
She
She
knows the
doesn't
real
know me.
me.
I said, dang, Kate was just knowing you, and now she don't know you. Now Bronte knows you. She knows the real me, and
I
she
would do
accepts it.
anything for her. You said that about the last one, Joe. That's what you just said that.
Oh my goodness. Listen, the world found out that Joe was an unaliver per se, when he gets arrested and everything. And Clay does the biggest turn on Bronte. It was just a lot going on in that particular scene. But out of all of that, y'all, Maddie somehow figures, I said, Maddie really is a PR genius because she figured out a way to get the public to like Joe again. Tamika, how in the ham sandwich did she pull that off?
I was just so mad at Joe because Bronte Clay, all of it. I just always, even though they cleared things up by giving the breakdown and showing us how everything went from the beginning, I'm like, none of this is what it is seeming like. This is somebody that he did something to that's coming back for some type of damn revenge. And I was trying to make it make sense that you do the things that you do, Joe, and you was just blind as hell to this. It was just you. Okay, whatever. So now you done got caught up. You done took him out, and you looking at her like, yeah, I'm doing this for you. I'm saving you. And I was like, okay, Maddie, you really gonna come in and help him after he done did put you through all kind of stuff, girl. Did an excellent job. Had him in there. We ready to roll the cameras. And she told him, don't cry. People don't like when you cry. And Joe over here, I said, no, not you. Of all the times you could have had a breakdown, of all the times you could have started to feel something, this is when you feel it.
Like, stand up, Joe. This ain't the
Right.
time. I have a
Right. Like, pull it together. And even she was like, what the hell are you doing? They had to cut. That was hilarious
I
to
was
me.
like, Joe, this is not part of the plan. Stop
Right.
playing. Like now you want to have this human moment and you want to be
Mm-hmm.
all real and talking about the. I said, as many cages as you done been in at this point,
Thank
every
you.
season you done had somebody in this cage. Stop playing.
Exactly. Now you breaking down.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness. Hey Shannon, thank you for coming through, boo. Oh my goodness, that was just too much for me. I said, Joe, you got to stop. But listen, it worked. And the world was like, hey, we love Joe again. And here we go again. And now they're actually out here blaming the women.
Right. They switched up real quick.
Said, dang. And then that's when all of our really, really toxic men folks start to come out of the woodworks,
Yeah.
right? And they
the
Mm-hmm.
start doing
Andrew
all
Tates
kinds of
of the
stuff.
worlds and the
Mm-hmm.
podcaster, the
Yeah.
incels came out at that point.
Yes.
It's all the women's fault. All the
Right.
toxic masculinity crew came in at the time to be there for Joe. And Joe
Hmm.
ain't even a toxic masculinity type man.
At all.
I said, wait
He
a
ain't on
minute.
y'all side.
Not at all. But they was tearing it up. I said, okay. Even one tried to kidnap Bronte. Now, oh, y'all. Were y'all surprised when y'all found out it was Joe who did her that hurt her ankle? I said, what the hell? That was crazy when we found out that it was. I said,
Like the whole thing was already not. You ain't have to do that. That was overkill.
Right.
dang, Joe. Joe gonna break her ankle, whatever he did, hurt her, and whatever he twisted that ankle up. But I said, Joe, stop. No, sir. This is not cool. But yeah, so yeah, that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, Joe's super diabolical at this point. But anyway, y'all,
Mm.
Kate is going to come up with this plan. She's actually going to go back to London and she's going to get Nadia out. Now, y'all remember Nadia because Nadia is the one that he set up to take the fall over there in London when she got too close. Y'all, the way I was so mad at Nadia, I'm like, Nadia, you could just walked away from this. Do you not see that he is hanging out with the rich folks? Ma'am, walk away. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You done somehow got away. You done he done left you alone. You just had to go back to that house. And that's why you end up where you at. Like, I was so mad at her, y'all, in season 4. I was like, girl, that was stupid. That was dumb. But anyway, Kate feels bad about locking Nadia up for the last 3 years and is like, look, let me just get you out. I put you in here. Let me get you out. Girl, Kate, first of all, what do you think about this whole plan that we're going to get rid of Joe?
First of all, Kate knew that Nadia was in jail and she was innocent. So the first thing that I would have done upon seeing her face was throw hands. Because I'm already locked up. What we gonna do? What you gonna do? At least now I have a reason. At least now I have a reason. I would have threw hands so bad and then told her to go to hell. Take him down in your own way. Okay, you let him get away with this, and you could have helped me a long time ago. And you see how she said her family like turned on her and stuff. Like some of her family believed she actually like was capable of this. Like you ruined that girl's life.
Okay,
I've
done.
been like, hey, go to hell.
That part.
And do
But
you need
Right.
help
They
getting
would
there? Do
have
you
done.
need help to get there?
she said she was letting me out of jail though, so let me go ahead and do what I gotta do. I was like, okay, girl, because the way she would have got cussed out. But Kate did say she didn't expect her to forgive her. They just want to take Joe out. Now there was a point when they thought that they could take him out one way. Then they realized that the only way to get rid of Joe was that they had to get rid of Joe. Right? And I was like, how y'all gonna pull this off is what I really want to know. But I mean, they came up with the plan. They finessed it. They got him into the cage. So how did y'all feel about seeing Joe in the cage for the first time? Like, it's not the first time he's been in the cage because clearly we found out that there are outlets to get out of the cage. But like he in the cage, and we know that Kate took the key because there's always a key. She took the key, so there's no way for him to get out. So we thought anyway. But how did y'all feel about just seeing that moment? Tamika, I'm gonna start with you. Did you think that Joe was gonna find a way out that cage?
Hell yeah. Joe know this case better than y'all do, had it longer than y'all have, and has put more people in there than y'all had. You think he wasn't gonna have a way? I said, stop sitting here playing in my damn face. I just was waiting to see the way that it was gonna happen because I knew he wasn't staying in there, and I knew they wasn't gonna be able to take him out. And I get Nadia want to get out of jail any means necessary. But once I would have got out before I would have helped her to get him in there, it definitely would have been hands, feet, okay, 2 piece and a biscuit. Your ass would have got beat. I was so sick of damn Kate and the fact that she was really acting like she coming in to be the damn hero. But we gonna play along. But yes, Joe was gonna get out of there. The fact that they really thought like we got him now, but we gonna do it this certain way.
Okay, girl, they was doing too much. Doing way too much. Yeah, this was my problem right here. How you gonna get out here and really fall for him? Like, how you gonna really, really fall for Joe? Fall for the foolishness. Joe say, "Listen, I'm gonna go buy you a castle. You want a castle, baby? Listen, she got me an account. She got me an account. You know, I'll make a phone call right now." Listen, then he find out that Kate said nope. Kate started attacking little things. Like she started taking little things, all the stuff that technically belonged to her. The store, the apartment up there. Like she started attacking all of these things, and now he has no account. He can't buy her a castle. It's crazy to me just the way Joe's face looked. Kate, Joe believed that he could buy a castle with her money for
he,
another
he,
woman. That's what he thought. Like, girl, please talk to me about that. I can't fathom it.
Listen, Marianne tried to break it down to her. Marianne is like is one of my favorites out of his whole little roster. Okay, because Marianne was not playing with his ass. Okay, Marianne showed up. Marianne showed up to his little cage. Like, yeah, you thought I was dead, didn't you? You thought you took me out, didn't you? And he's like, you're alive. I'm so glad you made it. That really wasn't me that tried to take you out there. That wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay, I'm glad that you're here. Joe is off of his rocker, and Marianne sat there and tried to tell Bronte, if you don't want to listen to Kate, listen to me, because I was you. That poor unfortunate soul who were struggling financially, that he just tried to sweep up off their feet and then thought I was going to be okay with him out here unaliving people. Look at all the people that he done said he loved. Look around. Look around. Take a good look around. And Bronte needed that little awakening because she's in too deep, okay? What do they call it in science? Called going native? When you undercover and you forget that you there to do a job. She went native and forgot that she was there for a purpose and she needed to be woken up, because Joe is delusional. And the longer you stay around Joe, his delusions will become your delusions. And then you get lost. And they're like, you need to wake up. Wake up. Because he gonna tell you this, that, and the third. And be so convincing. And then even when you're not convinced, you're gonna be scared, and then you ain't gonna know what to do because you're gonna know that he'll take you out of your sleep real fast with a straight face.
With a whole straight face, girl. Because
Okay, he don't even be yelling and angry and stuff. That he be taking out people at calm.
And that's what was so interesting when we get to the last scene, because we really get to see Joe angry for once. And I'm like, oh, Joe big mad. He mad at this point. But yeah, after all of that, Bronte fell for him, and it was Marianne who had to knock her back into reality. Which I think I actually have a slide where we'll dive into her a little bit more. But as Joe is in the cage, right? They decide they're gonna do something. I forgot the whole diabolical plan. I think they're gonna put some poison or gas in there or something, and all of this stuff. But Bronte shows up to get her stuff, right? And she's looking for Joe. She's gonna go get her stuff, and then she's still looking for Joe. She hasn't seen him yet. Then you talked about the conversation with her and Marianne, but Kate has a conversation with her too, because Kate told me, I just wanted to see you. I was like, was Kate really low key a little bit jealous? Like, Kate, you know you married to a KILLA, right? You know you married to a killer. Like, don't be jealous, boo. It's okay. She can have him, is what I'm thinking to myself. But even in the bigger moment of it all, after Marianne has this conversation, I can't remember what happened to Nadia. I can't remember where she went. That part just slips my mind right now. But anyway, Maddie decides that she's going to set a fire to the place. And that's how we get this big fire that happens. And he and Kate are in this thing together. And he confesses to unaliving love. And I'm just like, I don't care about love. Tamika, I don't. What did you think about this whole confession, this last moment? Did you think that was really it? Like, how did you feel about this whole scene?
I mean, I didn't give a damn about Kate and if she would have burnt the hell up in there. I said, Maddie, you don't even know you trying to burn up your sister too. But I didn't feel like Joe was gonna die in there. I just felt like he was gonna get out somewhere, even though it was looking like it was dying and such the close call and all of that. And I just was like, Joe, you stupid. I don't give a damn. Even if you did think this was gonna be the last of the hoorahs and you want to all of a sudden spit your damn gun. Like I said, Joe was just doing maneuvers that just I don't remember him doing in the past because I'm like, you don't know if they got some recordings, some other stuff going on, and you just spilling all the tea. And I really we didn't give a damn. I know a lot of people do give a damn about love, but I didn't give a damn about love, and I didn't care about him confessing to her about her. You done did so many other people when it's all said and done. So I just kind of felt like it was, part of the theatrics of it all. So let her know about that part, but I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm. I forgot to talk about how he got out the cage, y'all, because Joe done put a
He
damn
had it in his skin. Like, come on, he was gonna have another child. I wouldn't have been surprised if Joe would have had it sticking in his head, up in his behind. He was gonna figure out a way to get out of that cage.
Joe said, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready.
Okay, I said, now Joe, now that was interesting. That was interesting. But I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I really thought that Kate was out of there. Like I thought that Kate was done. So
I wanted her to be out of there, to be honest with you.
I didn't
really
even
did.
have no bad feelings about it either. I was like, oh, okay, well, Kate is gone, but she done sent this
Right.
thing to Nadia. Oh, that's why Nadia was gone. I had to remember why, because Kate told them to leave. Like she was gonna be the one who did it. Okay. It just came back to me like this second ago. We had you actually just broke that whole conversation down. I had meant to have these flipped, but I had them in backwards. But you just broke that whole thing down and you did a beautiful job of it. Bronte woke the hell up. Okay, period. And it took Marianne because she literally played out everything that was happening for her because he did the same thing. This is his MO. He does this to all of these women, like the same exact thing. This is how it happens. But anyway, Kay, please break it on down of how Joe actually got up out of there and how he lives to see another episode.
So y'all know Joe is psychotic, right? Joe is. That's why Joe is a whole horror villain, because you can't be afraid to bring harm to your own self to save yourself. Okay, Joe would have chopped off a foot to get out of there if he needed to, if he thought he was still going to survive. And you have to know that the chickens are going to come to roost eventually. So he had this elaborate plan to go ahead and hide the key in his own flesh. Now, why this idea would come to pass? I don't know why you wouldn't just put on a necklace or maybe sew it to a undershirt or something. Why that was the option is beyond me. But Joe said, "Ain't nobody ever gonna keep me in a box ever again." But the point of once you put it in your skin, it's gonna be that ain't the hard part. It's getting it out with nothing. Because see, you can put yourself under anesthesia. You can numb that area, do a little quick slit, sew yourself back up. You don't have any tools to bring it back out. So now you have to look like you were in Saw and Jigsaw just said, want to play a game. What are you willing to do to get out of this? Obviously, if Jigsaw ever met Joe, he gonna have met his match.
That part.
Because we now know he is willing to do whatever it takes to escape. So your boy had to mutilate his own self in order to escape. He escaped from the box that he created. He escaped almost bleeding to death from his own arm and a fire, only to make it back out to Bronte to be like, you see how you're my one true love. You really love me. I survived for you. We're gonna live so happily ever together. You are the one. Do you want to get married?
said, wait a minute, though. Not married, not right now. Got the blood all over his face. Girl, that was just a sight to see the blood dripping down and he on one knee proposing. I said, oh my God.
That's what you want to tell y'all kids? That this man got blood all over his face. He done just bit through his arm to escape a prison cell that he created. And then he proposes.
He proposed with a
Only Joe.
You in the cuckoo's nest with him if you feel like this was acceptable. And to
Oh,
go
man.
along right with him before you figure out I need to plan ahead and get over on him. But the even fact that you wanted to, that she should have left him in the fire. Why would you take him out? You should have left him.
Right.
Let him burn.
That's what I thought she was going to do.
Was take Kate and let him burn.
Exactly. That's what I thought too. But when she pulled that, I said, "Oh, you really trying to get some real justice." But what if the tables turn? What if he gets away? What if Joe figures out a way? Like, you really think that you're this smart? And then we have her with the narration, which I did like the idea of her taking over his narration, because you watch the entire season, Joe has always narrated this thing and he's always been steering this ship, letting us see what everybody else can't see, how these women just love him and how they're the problem and how they're always coming after him. Look at how she's looking at me. She just wants me to, like, that's the problem. This is Joe.
Me. She bought a book, Joe.
And so now, she's narrating the story and, they're kind of going back and forth with narrating the story. And she has decided that she's going to take him down because she's the only one that he's going to trust. But she was right about him trusting her. Like, Joe had let his guard all the way down. I said, Joe.
And that's what pissed me off. I didn't mind him going down, but I'm sorry, y'all. It just was not her. It was not you for me, Brianna. You was not the one for me, girl. I was so mad. Like, seriously, this is who does it? Okay, I guess we getting there. I wasn't mad at us getting there, but I was not here for her being the one that he just all of a sudden he just was Google.
Because he literally just was like, I wanna take her out. I'm like, he was ready to go all in to get at her. What episode 8? I want to say 8 or at the beginning of 9, before she figured out a way to get him when she was being for real then, because she hadn't turned yet. She had failed hard. So before that happened, he was ready to take her out. Like, she ruined my life. Sir, you she did insert herself in your life, but you also inserted yourself in her life too. Like, it's just crazy to me the way that Joe thinks about these things. But she said, listen, I'm gonna go all the way with this. I just don't know if I would have tangled with a psycho. That's just me. Joe would have been in that fire. Period. At the end of the day. So
how you come out of this and he's still smiling?
Okay.
That baby, he was smiling a minute, honey.
That smile was something else. I said, oh,
hey, girl, this is not normal.
Well, this is not it. But anyway, hold on. Those are for my last few slides. I'm gonna stay on this one. So we're gonna talk about the way that this kind of ended, and then we're gonna talk about how just the overall, like how each kind of person, where we find them at, and then we'll talk about the overall and how y'all felt about just how it ended and all that good stuff. And should they have a spinoff? Because Lord have mercy, that would be interesting. So first and foremost, the ending is kind of interesting, I guess, to say the least. I mean, I guess we kind of saw it. I mean, we had this one part where we have Bronte deciding that right before they get ready to get busy is the time that I'm going to confront him. Joe done tried to get the passports. Joe got everything. He's ready to go. Oh, but before I get to that, we got to talk about this one important thing, because this is super important. His son sees who he is. His son says that he's a monster. And I think this was the moment when Joe ain't got nothing else to lose. Remember how I was saying that we were talking about how we never really see him angry, right? But we saw Joe like super angry at the end when he was getting ready, when he was trying to take her out. I think that really had more to do with Joe didn't have nothing left to lose at this point. His son just was, that was it. Even though he's never chosen his son per se, but still the delusion of wanting to still have his family and all of this stuff. Kay, in your opinion, how did you feel about just that moment where his son is like, all along it was you were the monster? Like, how did that make you feel, girl? Like, was you in your feels?
I'm glad and it's the fact that he said it, and like Henry had like his family around, moms, the uncles there. Like he's like I'm good, I'm taken care of. But you lied to me. You lied. Like you left my mama in the fire. Like and stuff. He tried to attack his uncle. Like you trying to warn. You are the monster. And see that hit Joe because Joe thought he is the hero. Like if you ask Joe, he is Superman. Joe is Homelander. He is delusional. He really think he be out here saving people and nobody asks you.
Didn't want
You think that you are a hero. No, you're not. You're not even an anti-hero. Joe is a whole villain out here in these streets. But let him tell it. He be out here saving people. The world need me. The streets need me to protect y'all. And Henry was like, no, they don't. Everybody's lives was just fine until you came in here meddling. He ain't like that. Because he had convinced himself. Because again, denial is a river. And Henry said, not today.
Okay, I'm gonna come back to that here in just a second, MK, because I want to talk about that too. I thought that was
We're
interesting.
gonna talk about Joe running through the woods in his drawers.
No. Okay, doing too much. I said not catch him with his draws down for real. Any thoughts on Henry before we move on to Joe in the woods in the draws and people drowning and not really drowning?
Yeah, I agree. He didn't have nothing else to lose. He finally broke. We finally got to see him be angry. And his son saw him for who he was. And to me, that was really the biggest thing, like the most important thing. I don't think he was going to be worried about Kate or this one or that one, even though he would, fantasize and make it up in his head like he do. I think that hit different to have your son be like, oh, you are a monster. You don't have me fooled. The mask is off. I see you for what you are, right? And that, even if it's only for a couple of minutes, because we know Joe, he can't stay on track for too long. That's his reality check. Like, wait, no, because he really does see himself as the hero. He really do think he helping every damn body throughout all his freaking chaos. So to have his son call him out, I love that part actually more than any of the women surrounding him. Oh, you did this to me, and you did this to me, and now we all here to do this to you. That was cute, but I was here for the moment of his son being like, "You are trash."
Okay. Yeah, daddy, you trash. But we got to talk about the moment, y'all. The moment. So after Henry just breaks his soul, he decides that he about to go full on. I'm about to get rid of you because why? You done messed up my entire life. This is your fault. All you, Bronte. I was like, oh, so we back here again because weren't we already here? Now we back here
Everybody
again.
fault but Joe.
We back here again. They tussling and fighting, and then somehow she get out. Somehow he drowns her, and she just come back to life, y'all. I said, now if this, I said, girl, you is not really main character energy. You could have gone. What are we doing here? I didn't like it. I was like, okay. I was mad about that part. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I was like, come on now. I saw Joe maybe going out in a different way. Like I'm cool with how it all ends, but I was just like, not her. I just needed it to be somebody else. I don't know what it was. Kay, how did you feel about the naked running, drowning and not drowning?
That's the way Joe was running through the woods like a crazy person. I don't know what music they was playing, but the music that was playing in my mind was when Michael Jackson had turned into that werewolf at the beginning of Thriller and was chasing Ola Ray through the woods. That's the music that was playing in my mind because that's how he was chasing her down. And I'm just like, so you ain't even gonna try to put on no pants, nothing. And then didn't Bronte get shot in the stomach?
Mm-hmm.
Baby, she done had a broke leg shot, like
Let me tell you, I had a C-section that couldn't walk for like a month, and you running through the woods on a twisted ankle and a gunshot wound. I'm like, okay, so this is the Fast and Furious, and we supposed to suspend reality at this point. Okay, I guess this is what we got to do. And then you got you were drowned, had a twisted ankle and shot, and you still popped out the woods.
Okay, it was running hard. I said, "Ma'am, what are we
said,
doing?" I said,
I
"Come on now,
said,
y'all,
how?
stop playing." I said,
How?
"Stop playing." Joe should have won this all day long. Come on, there's no way that Bronte wins this thing. So I was like, I was low key, girl. Listen, I had a lot of different ways that I was like, is Joe really gonna? Is he gonna get away with this, or is are they going to do something to where there's a possibility that there's something in the future, right? So I was like, somehow Joe gonna get away. Like I really believed that Joe was gonna get away and that they were gonna do this thing where they left us hanging. And I was like, either way, I feel like people were gonna be upset. Like if he went to prison, people were gonna be upset. If he got unalive, people were gonna be upset. But if he got away, how would people really feel about it? Like, so if Joe had got away, Tamika, if he had really got away with it and somehow made it over there to Canada, how would you have felt?
Mm, I don't know if I would have liked that ending. Like I said, initially, I think the first 3, 4 seasons, I was rooting for Joe. I didn't want anything to happen to him. But I know when I did my last What You Should Be Watching, I was talking about how it was coming up and I was going to binge it. And I'm like, where do y'all see it ending for Joe? And I kind of had the unaliving on the table and I had going to jail on the table. And I didn't want him to be unalived either. So I was like, I'll be okay if he go to jail. I just felt like that would have been getting off too easy if he would have just been able to skate away, or even if they would have did kind of like made us think he was getting away, and as soon as he got off that plane, they was waiting for him there. That would have gave me a good chuckle too. But I didn't feel like he was supposed to get off scot-free after all the stuff that he did. So I didn't have an issue with him actually ending up being arrested, but the whole this character they used to do it, I just was not here for that part. Like you got popped, you got a leg hurt, like y'all mentioned, drown, all this stuff, and all of a sudden it's the dead has arisen. I was like, what the hell? What they saying now? What the hell? He like, what is happening here, child? I couldn't even get up out the hospital bed and walk straight. My damn hip was killing me from being in the hospital bed for a week. Like, what are we doing? She like the bionic damn woman. I just was not here for that part of it. I'm
And
sorry.
a good team towards his manhood. Now we need to talk about that gunshot. That he did need that one.
Yeah, that part.
I'm like, how with all of that? And I know you. I know. First of all, she a tiny thing.
Yes.
She should have bled enough to have passed out, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
But you had enough energy in you to have shot him right.
Yeah, and I know sometimes the adrenaline, but come on now.
Girl, she drowned, like a whole drowning. I said, dang. This is on some real Jason stuff right here because why? Okay. Listen, I had to get this picture because why was this one of my favorite parts? How did I become this person? This was so funny to me. I just fell out. I said, Joe, stop. When he tried to flip the script, I said, dang, Joe. How did I become Joe? Put some pants on. Stop playing. And then
they're crying in your drawers. Nobody cares.
This is not cute, Joe. Don't do this, okay? But Joe said, why? How?
Yeah, Joe was a damn mess. And I had a feeling it was going to end in him going in jail because I know that the actor Penn has always said, like, y'all really not supposed to like Joe. Y'all not supposed to be rooting for him. It's not supposed to be okay. Because people, and I was one, I was like, come on, Joe, you can do it. And
that part. Look, MK said, I wanted him to get away. After 5 seasons, they made us sympathize with Joe. Yes. We want him to get away. That's the funny part about it is that I can admit it. I can admit it. I was like, damn it, Joe, you better figure your way out of this. I don't know how or why, but you need to figure your way out of this. That's the beauty of this type of show. And when you have a character that's so charismatic in a way that you find yourself like, come on, Joe, you can do better than this.
You like her uncle did.
Yeah.
You know her uncle did need to die if she was living.
Right.
Yeah.
He was doing too much. Yeah. Mhm.
Come on, Joe. Come on. Get it.
Mhm.
I could see why you would want to do that. And then when we found out that Bronte was the op, I was like, see, he wasn't even gonna commit that murder. He wasn't even gonna do
Right.
it. This what he get arrested for? I said he wasn't gonna do it. He was trying to protect her. It was self-defense. And I feel like if people just be real honest with themselves, I feel like a lot of people was out there just rooting for Joe to get away, to really get away. But at the end of the day, you also come to that realization that, oh, but I'm okay with him being in jail too. But I really wanted him to get away.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of different things that ended up happening. We found out that that's him in jail, y'all. And I'm gonna come back to this one right here because that was funny to me. But we find out that Teddy ends up they end up turning the Lockwood Corporation into 100% nonprofit. Blah, 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 I don't care. But it was cute or whatever. Maddie ends up back with her boo thing. She's pregnant with twins nonetheless. And, the daughter that she carried, she gets away with murder, literally, because of distress. I'm telling you, anybody else would have been able to get away with this. Money can get you out of a lot
Money,
of
money,
things,
money.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Some things it cannot, but for the most part, it can get you out of a lot of stuff.
Well, you got to
Because
combine the money and the white privilege together.
yes,
Right.
it's
Yes.
twofold. It can't just be
Absolutely.
money. It's
Right.
twofold. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's twofold. So that's how her ending kind of goes. Nadia goes back to her first love, which is books, and she's there also combining this with helping women in prison and stuff. I mean, she was there for 3 years. She was locked up. So there's that, and there's our Joe getting arrested, looking crazy. I said, "Dang, Joe." And then we find out that this heifer over here, she lived. I was like, that's why I didn't even put her real picture. I didn't put her picture up there. I couldn't stand Kate. She
Yeah, I
lived.
didn't give a damn about Kate. I really wanted her to be gone. Teddy, he was the only one out of that family that I actually liked, so I didn't mind him. And I wasn't even mad at Maddie being able to get off and have her sister's husband
Okay,
and
because
her
Maddie was
twins.
trifling. I agree. He said Maddie's boo was trifling. I agree. He
He
was trifling.
was. He was.
But they was trifling together. So there we
Hmm.
go. And then when it was all said and done, this was the last moment that we see of Joe Goldberg. And he's sitting there and he's reading this letter because y'all know what happens. All the crazies come out when
Yeah.
Joe got fans, okay?
Hmm.
They was like,
That's
I
that love and
believe
lockup.
Oh
you can
yeah.
you can punish me, okay? You can lock me in the cage. I said, hell no, no the hell you can't lock me in no cage. But then Joe looks at the camera and he blames all of us, y'all. Like
It's
he like,
you.
it's you. He said we was complicit. How did you feel about that ending scene? Because I thought it was kind of interesting. I was like, oh shit, so you gonna blame it on us?
Well, that's what happened when Jeffrey Dahmer had them went to jail. He kept getting all this damn fan mail from people. This man was kidnapping black and brown young boys and eating them, and he was still getting fan mail. And then he discovered religion. It was like, oh, you mean? Oh, so all I got to do is say like God forgive me, and like it's cool. Like if I repent, and then like all these people, and then I can still go to heaven, and then all these people gonna love me, and then that's when somebody in the jail was just like, I see you got to be stopped. But the same thing with Jeffrey Dahmer, like he was just at that point, he was like, oh, I said, I said, forgive me of my sins, so I'm gonna be straight. And he's getting all these letters and stuff. Like they got in there and got delusional. Even worse, there's still no accountability. It was still none there because you have all these people trying to tell you, oh no, they did all the incels that, oh, it's all the women fault, and then all these women who just want to pen pal somebody to sell them a dream that will never ever come true. Then they start getting ahead of themselves again. And if you're somebody like Joe, you don't need to fill his head up with nothing.
Nothing.
All he needs is a little bit of praise and somebody to, give him a pat on the back. That's enough.
Mm-hmm. And there he go.
Mhm.
There he go. I got a question for y'all. Do you damn, I lost my damn question. Literally lost it. It just faded from me. It might come back to me in a minute.
Mhm. I love this part though, because this
What
is
is
realistic. They do be writing the serial taker outers and the people, they have their fan clubs and they be boosting them up and they be here for it. They be wanting to send them all type of gifts. What do you need? If they can get visits, we want to visit. If we can get married, we can get listen, they be wanting to do all of the things. So I love that they showed that part. And even though it's still delusional as Joe, that ain't gonna take no type of accountability and be like, it's you. That was true to who Joe is. And it's true to a lot of these damn delusional, crazy ass damn people are. So I have no problem with none of that part. I was like, seriously, but then I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, I
they
felt
crazy?
like, mm-hmm.
He gonna be on wife number 3. This gonna be his
Right.
prison wife.
Okay,
Mhm.
we're
Exactly.
gonna get married at the thing and all that. What I was gonna ask is, what did y'all think about the fact that Kate ends up keeping Henry? I mean, Henry looks up, of course, but I always thought that maybe somehow Forney's mom, even though I'm sorry, Forney, Love and Forney's mom, even though she was a mess, I always thought that is it 40? Is it 40? What was he
40.
doing? 40. Okay, I was
Mm-hmm.
like, did I say his name right? I always thought that maybe she would be able to reunite with Henry at this point. That's what I
Mhm.
thought. But then I was like, but we forgot about all this money that the Lockwoods got.
Right, yeah. I wouldn't have mind if he would have reunited with her. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind if he would have went back to where Joe originally left him at. I don't think
Exactly.
Kate
He should have
deserved
took
him
him back.
either.
No, they
Yeah,
that boy was happy. Them people
yeah.
wanted that child. They wanted him, and he was doing just fine before they came back. She should have took him back to his dad's. He was just, and he wouldn't have been in all of this mess anyway. He wouldn't have known nothing about Joe and all of this stuff. And now he over there, you know, pulling knives out on people and whatnot. They should have
Threw
left him
that
where he
knife at
was.
when he threw that knife at Reagan, I started laughing. I said, dang, threw it accurate. I said, boy, you got an arm on you. Okay. But I loved how they were kind of giving us this thing like, because they were kind of putting it out there in our faces like, will this baby turn out like Joe or nah? And we have him looking at Kate at some point, looking at the fire burns that she had on her arm and stuff like that when we're, in the ending of it. And I was just like, okay, I see this. I was like, but I don't know if that was like some kind of, like, is it, but I know that they were showing us him like, how is he going to turn out? Because a lot of times, how they say some people turn out, you got one cereal who might turn, you never know which way they're going to turn. They may be good, they may be bad. We don't know how it's going to be. But I think he's going to thrive. But I think that the family now, because I don't give Kate any grace because Kate did bad things too. I don't think that she deserves to have him, but I do think that they're in a better space now with the dynamics of the family. I mean, there's no Reagan, so the toxicity is kind of gone.
Listen, I think Kate should sleep with one eye open, baby, because you never know. He may decide he'd come in that room and slit her throat one day.
You don't think he gonna be? You think he gonna be? Dang.
I mean, he might turn out like, yeah, I don't know, but I also would be like, you never know. Okay.
Okay.
Soon as Kate get a boyfriend, it's gonna Henry gonna be done had slashed and dashed him on the way to the car.
Dang. Dang, Henry,
Like,
I
but
tried
I
to give
was
you the
trying to
benefit of the
protect you,
doubt.
Mom. He was after your money.
I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt, Henry. They say you ain't gonna make it, bro. They say you are not going to make it. You gonna be, you gonna probably end up, taking somebody out at some point. So anyway, y'all, I mean, honestly, that was the entire season. Those are all the things that went down, of course, squished into this live, all the main things that happened. But overall, I was not mad at this last season. I mean, it was okay. The first season, I think, is always going to be the best season, in my opinion. I think, hands down, just the introduction of that, even though to some people it starts out a little bit slow, and I will say that it did when you get that first episode and you're just kind of trying to figure out what's going on. But I feel like after that, you was just sucked into this world. That one, and like Kay said, season 3, that one was just
That
hilarious.
was
When
a
we get the
hilarious
couples
season.
and the suburbia and him and Love just going back and forth. I could have looked at one more season of them two. I ain't even gonna lie. They could have gave us another season of them in suburbia and left the London one out, and I would have been okay
Yeah.
with it. So what we didn't get your favorite seasons, Tamika, before we go.
Yeah, I think it's 1 and 3. I actually want to revisit it because I wanted to revisit before this season came in, but just too much was going on and I couldn't. So maybe now that it's come to an end, I'll just go back through and I don't know if I can watch the London one again, but we'll see. But definitely those first 3, I know for sure I'll watch again because I
Yeah,
think that's classic. Yeah.
yeah,
When you
yeah.
first
I
get
can say to the
introduced to
save
Joe.
them to
And
her.
I still tell people, like, yeah, go watch You if you're not familiar with it, check it out.
That's what's up. Lemon Kush, you gotta go and watch this one for sure. And thank you for always showing up and hanging out and supporting us. And you gotta go look at it though. It's interesting. You gotta go binge it for sure. MK says that they should have ended at season 4. I think if they ended at season 4, it would have been horrible. And the only reason why I say that
Mm-hmm.
is because season 4 was not their strongest season. I do feel like this season, at least they were able to come back from season 4. It may not have been 3 or 1, but it was better than 4 for sure. If they had ended on 4, I would have just been so underwhelmed by them ending it like on that note. But and I'm not saying that season 4 was horrible. What I'm saying is that it wasn't my favorite. It just
Yeah, it
wasn't my
wasn't
favorite.
my favorite either. And I still would have been wanting more, I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah. I was okay with this. Kay, your thoughts, final thoughts on how it ended? Anything you have to say about OU?
I'm glad that they left the door. I'm glad that Joe is still alive and left open because look, if they ever want to do a spinoff of
Mhm.
Little Henry, we need Joe to be around. Okay, because I don't see good things coming from Henry in the future. I'm sorry,
Here we go, be a little cereal.
Yeah,
y'all.
because
Okay,
I feel like one
give him
day
till about
Henry
12 or 13. Mm-hmm.
I feel like one day Henry gonna see that Kate is a monster too.
Oh Lord. Oh, we forgot about Marianne. Marianne did get to be the artist that she wanted to be. FYI. And Kate helped her.
I was
There's
rooting
that.
for Marianne, if
Yeah.
anything.
She the only one I've really been rooting for. Like,
I
dang.
would.
Absolutely.
He just screwed that girl life up for real,
He
for
did.
real.
Followed
Crazy.
her out the country and still didn't want him. And then
Child.
locked her up and locked her up, tried to take her out. Then was acting like he was shocked that she was still alive. Give me a hug, girl. I ain't seen you in a while.
I
How your baby doing? She good?
warned you. I held you in my arms. Joe, shut up. Stop playing right now with me. Listen, stop playing. Joe is crazy. But yeah, overall, you're right. They did leave a door open, and I think they could definitely walk into that door with the right situation. I think it would be interesting. But ladies, that was it, y'all. We got through season 5. Listen, what y'all got going on your channels? Tamika, start with you, and then Kay.
Sometime over this weekend, I'll have my recap for Love After Lockup up. I'm gonna go watch that and eat something, and then I might talk about Raising Caden. But if I don't, like do a separate recap, then I will be with the ladies on Sunday, and then I'll be with Inga Tuesday for Godfather Harlem, and just keeps going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny from there. Do it all over again. Keep your notifications on. I wish I could have been here from the beginning, y'all. I'm so sorry. My apologies. Just was a crazy day. Just one of them days.
Hey, what a girl goes through. That's exactly
Yeah.
what I said to him when we first started. I think everybody was just having one of them days. But Kay, what you got going on your channel, boo?
Y'all look out for The Last of Us episode reviews, Godfather of Harlem. Of course, we do Handmaid's Tale. a Thunderbolts review up on the channel. Um, and I am going to get my throwback review up soon for the faculty. I ain't did a throwback in a while. We're gonna talk about the faculty. If y'all want to see any other written reviews that I do a lot more written reviews. Click the link under the description box in my videos, and you'll have links to like all of my written reviews on Cinema Craze and my blog, and hit up the channel membership. There is content that is in the channel membership that is not on for the public. Okay, everything can't be for the public. Some things you got to come behind the paywall. Hit that membership button.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, as far as your girl is concerned, of course, the ladies and I went live last night to talk about the shenanigans of Raising Canaan. I'm still hot and I'm still mad. Okay, if you can't feel it coming off of me, we talked about that for quite a bit of time, actually. So we also will go live on Sunday to have a more formal situation and talk a little bit more about it. So make sure to show up for that. We are actually going to do a watch party over Raising Canaan, the finale. I will drop the details about that sometime soon. So definitely make sure that if you're watching it, that you come and hang out with us so we can talk about that. And then Kay, as she said, we do Handmaid's Tales on Wednesday. On Mondays, y'all, we are still talking about Never Ever Met. So we got 5 more episodes, y'all. They can't come fast enough. These people is crazy. They driving me crazy. So if you're into that, join me, Shayna, Mo69, and Candy Love so we can talk about that. And then I think that is it for right now. But yeah, just keep your notifications turned on and all that good stuff, y'all. And I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. We had Lemon Kush, we had MK in the building, Candy Love was in the building. We had some other people pop through. We had a lot of people that were here that didn't get a chance to say anything. Just know that we see you. We appreciate you. We thank you. Please make sure to hit the like button. It helps us out. It pushes us up in the algorithm. So definitely hit the like button. And then once the live is over, go down, make a comment, do all those things. Just help this video go ahead and fly on out there because people need to know how we felt about you. They need to know. But we're about to get up out of here, y'all. And we will talk to y'all later. Got me trying to eat it up. Shawty, I'm a trick. I guess you what you want.